Welcome to Sutures and Cents. I'm Mark Copeland, the Value Analysis Whisperer, and we talk business to clinical and clinical to business. Ryan Pistone is my producer, director, and in-house smart guy. So I had a friend call me from AVAP this week, which is the American Hospital Value Analysis. I'm not even sure what it stands for, right? It's an organization I actually joined and I'm following, trying to understand exactly what the supply chain was talking about. But they had a poster this week. I won't name the health system, but it's a big one. That health system reported that on average, it gets 74 new product requests a month. Now, think about that, 74 new product requests a month. Now, if think about it this way, if they spend 2 hours a month just covering them, right? Just covering the requests, which, by the way, they don't. If they have a 2 hour meeting, probably 45 minutes of it is applied to new product requests at best. But let's say, for argument's sake, they spend 2 hours a month looking at new product requests. That's about 97 seconds each new product request gets for the team to look at and decide, okay, what do we need to do next? Should we do this? Can we approve this right now? Or do we deny this right now? Right? Like, think about that pile of resumes. If you're a hiring manager, you probably get a pile of resumes and you look for ones that are good, but you're really doing kickouts. You're knocking people out so you can get to the 5% that you actually want to spend time on, let's say. So let's say that they do that and they're going through this. Think of how fast they have to make a decision as to, hey, let's put this on the agenda, or we need to do some work on this. This seems worthwhile, right? So I bring this statistic up because if you're in sales, you know what it's like to have to try to capture someone's attention in a short period of time, right? That's most of us are trained to do that in some way. If you're not trained to do that, I'd be surprised. But we are trained to do that to capture the attention of an individual or maybe a small group. And I would tell you, let's think about that for a minute. Okay, keep that in your mind. Now we have 97 seconds, possibly, to capture the attention of a group, 2/3 of whom are not clinical, probably. You know, there's supply chain, it's business people. It's business people, procurement, supply chain, materials management, whatever you call it, the people that know the cost of items, the acquisition price, the bill that you hand them. But they don't know what it means. They just know what the price is, right? There's those folks. And then there's a couple of people, hopefully your champion, who are the clinical experts. But this is a large group of people. Or better yet, I should say, it's a group that represents multiple parts of the organization. And so the more of those folks we win over or speak to, the more likely we are to win. But we've got 97 seconds to do it. Now, many of you are operating room reps, and you've done in-services in front of OR staff before. And if you've ever done that, you know what it's like. You better get their attention. You better keep it tight, and you better command the room, right? Or some battle axe nurse or some smart aleck young buck up front is going to disrupt and make it difficult. But you're a trained professional. You know how to handle them. But that's the kind of room we're walking into. It's just these folks are more trained in different areas, right? So let's think about this for a second. 74 new product requests. They're going to wade through a bunch of them and just knock them out. You know why they won't knock yours out if you've done the job the right way? And believe it or not, it has less to do with the champion and how important, how much revenue they bring in, which is what a lot of people in my audience still think, I believe. What really matters is if you deliver it in a message that makes sense to those groups, right? So that's why you hear me talking about the home run executive business summary. It's an executive business summary that we add in clinical, which is what makes healthcare unlike any other thing. We add in the clinical part. You'll notice I didn't say we lead with the clinical part. I say we add it in. We try to talk a business proposal to these folks. And if you really want to touch home plate, you try to align it with the health system or the service line strategy. But if we give them something like that, that's well written and organized appropriately, and as best possible uses their language, not ours, theirs, uh, you will capture their attention. And they may not approve you right there, but you go to that 5% that they go, hey, we need to spend time on this. Scratch, you know, 68 of those, but there's six here. We get it. It makes sense. It's logical. Now let's spend our next 42 minutes on it. That's actually how it works. I mean, it's a committee. That's how people do things. They weed out the stuff that they're like, this dog won't hunt, and they get it out. What happens though is yours ends up in the pile of that dog won't hunt, and it gets buried. And then the next month, another 74 comes in, and yours is buried deeper. And then another 74 comes in, and they're wading through, but they can't keep up with the flow. And I actually have a technique that anybody that wants to learn about, I urge you to reach out to me on how to get those types of requests that have been sitting there in purgatory, value analysis purgatory, because they're not going to call you in 8 months. No matter what anybody tells you, they're not going to call you in 8 months and go, it's a miracle. You're approved. Maybe one time someone you knew somebody who had that happen. That's not the way it's going to happen. You want to come in and put a red dot on their forehead and light them up. And we do that with that home run executive business summary. And there's no secret sauce. I help you write it, and we cut it down to 45 to 60 seconds. There's a reason why that's the way those things are designed that way. It's for this type of meeting. And if you deliver one, or your champ delivers one, or you email one to her and attach it in Lemire, I promise you, you will get decisions sooner. Your likelihood of success will usually double, if not triple. And you will be amazed at the response you get. And you will be amazed at how little people talk to you about price. But I'm urging people to think differently about how they do new product requests. Because if you don't, guess where you end up on that pile? I'm Mark Copeland. I'm the Value Analysis Whisperer. I help companies get their products approved.